You look like you again.
Jazz.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I'm coming at you with the Magic Square, the MS-B35 Blues. No, he's not blue. He is Jazz, and he looks pretty good. This is actually a nice looking figure. It works pretty well, and I do like it. I'm going to tell you whether I like it more than the New Age when we get to the comparisons. But I did get this at Show Z. I'll have a link down below so you can get yours. Let's get into looking at Magic Square Blues. Coming up. So here's the packaging. The most notable thing I want to say is that there is no window box anymore. I remember most of them had window boxes. You can see the figure. I don't know what's going on with that, but you can see artwork on the front. You get a little Magic Square Android looking thing on the back. You get to see a silhouette of the alt mode and recycle. So I guess they're trying to be more recyclable. There it is. All right, so taking a good look at them out of the packaging. He's quite an impressive little bot. He looks the part as a G1-esque version of Jazz. I like him. Looking at him, the silhouette of him, the everything about him looks like a G1 Jazz. Looks really good. And you know, Magic Square really never misses the mark in design, and it works very well overall. So looking at this though, we do have some shiny reflective paint up there on the top, on his head, on his eyes. We got some paint right here. We've got some paint, and it's applied okay. A little fuzzy application, but I've actually seen it applied even worse on some other people. So I got a pretty good copy of it. Paint right down here below. I like a clean midsection, so we're going to see why that's so important in the comparisons. And then down below, the legs look pretty good. The bump out is not so big, but the thing about that, with the bump out not being so big, it's usually huge on this character, and so making it smaller the way they did with the transformation really does work out well. From the back, he cleans up very, very nicely, so nice looking overall. You can do a couple of different things. You can have them with the wings tucked back like this, or you can have the wings out, which, of course, I have the wings out. That's just, in my mind, that's Jazz, so all that jazz. So let's go ahead and take a look at accessories and then do articulation. Okay, so he has two additional faces. One that's just kind of a stoic type of face and a screaming face. Now, my understanding is that this one right here, I got it zoomed in, that one's supposed to be a toy look. So anyhow, I'm terrified of losing them because they're so tiny, but kind of cool they included. As for the rest of those accessories, he has two closed hand fists which do the same job as the existing fist, which is more or less an open but closed hand. It'll hold the accessories but looks a little more open. So depending if you want fists or the way it comes, I'll just keep it the way it comes, but it's nice that they include it. And we got two sets of speakers. If we want to apply those to him, let's go ahead and do that. And here it is all applied. So the thing is that all these little speakers come separate. You have to plug them into the main piece that plugs into a side, and these you have to kind of assemble them too, and they plug into the back holes on the windshield. So the windows, you just have to put the windows up. So roll your windows up to put those speakers up. So anyway, that's the best way I can see to put all this stuff on here, and it's interesting. Other accessories, we do have the missile launcher that goes on his, mounts on his shoulder there, and it actually mounts right here on the very back. And we have his gun, which is not painted. It's just gray. It's not silver. But all in all, it's a nice look at the end of the day, but I'm probably not going to put these speakers on him ever again. Now for the articulation of this guy, you have articulation in the doors. You could pick where you want them to go. Head can go up and down, up mostly, a little bit down, side to side. Shoulder goes out about this far, and then if you want to get this out of the way, 360 it. You do have the bicep swivel on such a tiny figure, which is so cool. And then elbow to way past the 90. And then, like we showed with the hands, are just pretty much a side-to-side kind of deal. But if you want to have either type of hand, I think you can transform it with either type of hand in it also. You do have the extreme Magic Square ab crunch, like always. And then the hip flap hides in there. It's kind of cool too, because, bump the camera, it's painted all like one unit, and then when it folds back in, the paint's still on the hip, which is interesting that they did that. So, but you have way out there. But then you go all the way to the back, and nothing to the back. To the side, probably further than I'm going with. Yeah, it looks about as far to the side. And then you have this swivel at the hip, and then it's a double jointed knee, so when you go up you can do quite a few interesting poses. Kind of feels very good articulation, but strange you could go to the back. You do have the ankle tilt and down, and you can do a lot with it. Again, I think that's a transformation thing, but it's also, hey, let's make all this work with transformation and articulation at once. Now, for my favorite part of this reviewing any figure is the comparisons, mostly because you can kind of see how it scales or how it works with others. But this is the New Age Monero. Now, I got my hands on this, I was like, man, it's just too small. And every time I pull this out and do comparisons, it's too small, even if I compare it to New Age. So that's kind of a strange situation that I'm in with this guy. But looking at them, I just want to say that if you just look at design, this wins. This destroys the design. Look at the big bump out on the bottom there, where this is a lot cleaner on the bottom. And then going up, look at how the waist area or the abdomen looks so much cleaner. And then even the way they've done the top part. So yeah, I think that Magic Square is a win. Plus, I don't have a way to have the doors out on the back on the New Age. I couldn't figure it out. I don't think it's an option. So just looking at all of these different things, I think Magic Square is way better. Now, yes, the paint and the finish is better on New Age. Like always, this is the always problem between these two companies. We can get the same finish on this guy, but this one's going for tune, this one's going for toy, going for two different things. All right, so getting in here with a group of figures, so what would your shelf look like? And this is kind of what a shelf will look like. Let's go through this. This is Iron Trans, I believe. Yeah, Iron Trans. And then this is Toy World. This is the KO oversize of Magic Square, the McFans, but they're actually the same size. Magic Square, the McFans Toys KO oversize of Magic Square. This is Iron Factory, which I'm going to get the Magic Square one of this. And of course, Magic Square, Magic Square. And what I want to point out is if I swap them out with New Age, you see what I've been looking at, and you see why I like this one so much more. He just didn't seem to fit. And when you think about New Age and their Prime is about the same size as Magic Square's Prime, their Megatron is about the same size as their Megatron. So looking at it, it just is too small. It always has been. Not only do I like the design better than New Age, the height and scale and everything works so much better for me. Were you just wondering what's he going to look like compared to Masterpiece figures? Well, with camera tricks and high-tech imagery and camera tricks, angles, perspectives, we can pull this off. And looking at them side by side with, this is Make Toys Downbeat, and that is the Toy World version of Coolsville. Now, Zeta also made one that looks exactly the same. So with this, I think these are both great options for Masterpiece shelf. They're both fine, and I still prefer the Make Toys the most. But if Magic Square made this and gave it a better finish, a little bit more paint on it, it would be a contender. I really think it could be a contender, looking as good as it does. It actually looks a little bit cleaner than these guys in some areas, and they are going for more tune than, say, Coolsville. But there it is, if you just wanted to see a comparison to Masterpiece. All right, now for the transformation. Let's kind of get a good angle on all of this and pull this up. We need to pull out the wheels, and then we're going to push up on this piece right here. We need to get this out and ready to go. We're going to put his head into here. I need to go backwards with it to get it in just right. And then once that goes in there, we fold this piece around so that we have that. Okay, all good in Jim Dandy there. Let's fold the arms up, and then we're going to move this around. And then this is a tricky kind of situation here. Okay, get this in this spot, fold, make this flat, fold this down, and this down. So it should look like that. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. So sometimes this stuff doesn't really just make sense. So let's fold it up. We want to get this out. This folded. I just did one. This direction. Down. Okay, so what we want to do here, looks like we're going to push this in, and then we want the head to go through this gap. You have the head, I guess, where he's facing that direction, and then we're going to put it into this hole here, like so, and then everything should be lined up. And whether or not you can close your doors early, or you can wait till you're after this step, but then that lines everything up just right so that you can get the front end pretty much done. Yeah, that works. Kind of strange, interesting, pretty complex, but sort of makes sense in a way. Now for the legs, let's go ahead and separate them. They separate right here. Go around this direction, fold this in half so it'll have the clearance, and then that's up out of the way. With that out of the way, we can do a few other things. Fold this piece here around, but there is a small little filler that needs to get opened. So open this filler, and then we're going to bring this around and line that up. Then all right, so we're going to slide that piece down, and then this is going to come up. We're going to go around the opposite direction, actually, to bring it up. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on with this foot, so we are going to turn it a couple of different directions, like this. Fold this down, this around, and then it's going to sit in here about like so. And then we're going to fold this up over that, and then all this is going to sort of tab into place. So it's an interesting way they did it. And then this back piece on the back here folds down. So we're going to do it on the other side, and then it's all just going to tab together, I hope. As you can see, it's kind of coming together. So we are going to do all this over again. Kind of spread this out so we can see what's going on. I might as well pull this piece out now. Well, maybe not. Fold this around, fold this down, pull that up. And then we're going to unfold this piece in here. This little one right there. And then that will help us move forward, and that's got the filler in it. And then this other piece is going, since it's already out, it's going to go around the back side like so, and then might as well just leave that up. Got to make all this work. So fold this down, fold this around, this piece around like so, and then this piece goes down, and then it's all going to go into there. Let's make sure it's working. And then this piece is going to come up and over, up in atoms. Now that can tab together. And then let's get the doors out of the way again. And then this is going to tab together. And then the doors are going to be able to close. But I got more to do with the doors. We close this back piece as another connecting point. We connect the spoiler together like that. And then we lock the spoiler in place. Now, the doors have one more thing that I forgot to do, or failed to do, whatever you want to say. And there's a piece on the inside of the door that is a filler, so just get that and just kind of maneuver it around to get it out. Do the same thing on the other side. We've got him done. We're going to have a look at him in his alt mode. All right, here's Blues in the alt mode. The transformation was actually different than I thought. It is an interesting transformation. Lots of little bits and pieces that you need to fold out. Really tiny ones that I just didn't see at first, but then you see a gap and you're like, why is there a gap? I know it's not supposed to have that gap. So it does look pretty good, actually, overall. Now, it rolls, slide rolls. It's kind of hanging up right here. I wondered if those flaps were left out, if it would roll better. I don't know. But in the alt mode, it does look pretty good. It does look really good. Now, we've got paint on it. We've seen this before, the blue in the Blues. That's a nice little top tint right there, too. That's kind of cool. And we do have the blue stripe all the way, although it's broken up right there, which I don't like that, but it is how they did it. So like, I don't understand why they did that either. They could have made the stripe all the way through if they wanted to. It's not that big of a deal. Anyhow, the bottom's pretty clean too. On the back, you can even see like a small little speck of a paint app. Oh, now my finger in the way of the gas tank. I guess that's the gas tank. I don't have a Porsche, so I'm not sure. It's got a gas tank on both sides. Or is that a pin? That actually might just be a pin, and I'm sitting there thinking it's a gas tank. Where's the gas tank on a Porsche? Anyway, so number 4. So it looks pretty good. Got some paint on the side of the spoiler too. So great looking figure, great looking alt mode. Transformation's a little bit more complex than I thought it would be, but after you've done it once, it doesn't really seem that bad. One of the reasons the transformation was the way the transformation was so you can have the opening doors, which is a good gimmick because it was a G1. It's super ultra G1. And then, of course, you can plug these into the holes like in the alt mode, or the bot mode, sorry, rather. And there's actually 2 different plugins. You can plug it with this plugin. Let's get that plugged in. Let me get it done, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Here he is blasting the blues. Oh, blaster blues? No. Jazz blues? No. He's playing some rock. So look at it. Now, you can plug the speakers into the side also, those little ones. And I mean, if that's the thing you want to do and display it all, that's the best way I can see. I don't really see how to put any of this on here. So maybe I'm missing something. But it's not the end of the world to me. I'm not too worried about it. I just think it looks good. And I'm happy with the fact that it looks good. So here he is for size comparison all over the place. And I think he scales well with Magic Square. But this is Iron Trans, too big. This is New Age, too small. This is Magic Square just right. This one is the Magic Square. And I'm not going to lie. That alt mode is goofy looking. And then this is a decent alt mode from New Age. And actually, it's a pretty decent size from New Age. It looks good. And this is Magic Square's UFO. UFO can be any size. So anyway, there's comparisons. So this has been my look at the Magic Square MS-B35 Blues, and I think he's a really good figure. I think he's got mostly good articulation, legs don't go back all the way, but that's really the only holdup in articulation, and he has the best design of a Legends scale Jazz, and he looks pretty good. Paint apps are okay, a little fuzzy in areas, but mine, I think I got one of the better copies of the paint apps, and he does look pretty good. I wish his accessory would have had a little bit of paint on it. It would have been silver or something along those lines. It even looks silver in the picture. But overall, really not much negative to say about this guy other than the fact that he looks good. He's going to be on my shelf, and he's going to be my Legends Square Jazz for a long, long time. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you on board with this one? Are you on board with the New Age? Or are you waiting for the McFans toys? So I'll put a link down below where you can get yours at Show Z. It's on sale, $5 off right now. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe to Dear Maker out.
Man, Spike, I can't wait to try out what you and Spot worked in my sound system. I just know it's gonna be wild, woolly, and whaley. Hey, look out!
Yeah, a perfect place for those monsters, all right. No neighbors to complain.
Can't you play something soft? Can't take much more.
Me neither, and I like it!
We can't fight Prime and an army of our friends.
Jazz, we can't sit back and watch either. I'm with Bumblebees.
Oh, kind of like a goodness transfusion.
You got the idea, Jazz. Now all we have to do is test it on somebody.
I think we got our first unexpected volunteer.
The Transformer will return after these messages.